No. I've been trying to sleep all goddamn night, but I keep getting woken up by you stupid holiday spirits. Fucking, what do you want?
Hi, Viking.
Sci-fi guy? Hey, man. What are you doing here?
Can't you tell? I'm the fourth ghost. The ghost of Christmas cameos.
That's a thing?
Yep. It's a pretty crummy job. Bad pay, lousy hours. If it wasn't for the dental plan, I would have left ages ago. You with me, Viking?
Yeah, I'm listening. Lay it on me, man.
Alright, good. So, basically, I'm here just to make another review happen. So, well, yeah, that's it. Go do that thing.
That's it? No speeches? No nothing?
Nah, I mean, you pulled a sword on the second guy, right? I'd rather not explain to you the importance of cameos and friendship and flossing or whatever. My head belongs on my shoulders, and I intend on keeping it that way.
Right on. Just one more thing before you leave, though. I gotta ask, why am I, in particular, getting visited by all these Christmas ghosts? I'm not a Scrooge. I love Christmas. It's like the most wonderful time of the year.
Well, to tell you the truth, me and the other guys aren't actually ghosts. We're just hallucinations brought on by your centuries of cranial trauma and alcohol abuse. Seriously, man, go to a doctor or something. You have some serious problems.
Whatever, Mom. I don't got no Dane Bramage. Just let me do this thing.
Alright. Oh, and by the way, Merry Christmas, Viking.
Yes, and Merry Christmas to you as well, sir. Now, hello, heathens, once again to what is hopefully the last episode of my Folk Metal Festivus. It's been a long night for me, and I am dead tired, but it is still my duty to bring the metal, even through a holiday hangover haze. So it turns out my extremely crowd-pleasing cameos by Demo Versailles, the Rosenhacker, Phil Bunny, and the Sci-Fi Guy were merely figments of my imagination, and that I reviewed folk metal because I damn well wanted to review folk metal. So that's what I wanted. But what do the fans want? Aye, there's the rub. Well, I typically don't review bands that are well-established and popular anymore, but shit, it's Christmas, might as well. One of my most frequently and aggressively suggested bands is finally getting a review from me. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Arkona. My fans wanted it. They begged and pleaded for me to review it. Well, they ask and they shall receive. Merry Christmas, assholes. I'm reviewing Arkona. The pagan powerhouse, the Crussian Russians, the metal monsters of Moscow, whose mighty roars can be heard from hemisphere to hemisphere, striking fear into every foe and beer into every bro. This is a band with a long and colorful career of praising the past and amazing your ass with devastating displays of dirgeful and darkly atmospheric anthems to archaic ass-kicking. For obvious reasons, Arkona is one of the most popular and respected pagan metal acts around today. For those not in the know, pagan metal is basically folk metal's more extreme older brother. Picture in your head a savage barbarian with an immortal t-shirt and a drinking horn full of Budweiser, and you'll have a pretty good idea how pagan metal sounds. This is where folk metal starts bleeding into black metal and where bands like Fintroll and Moonsorrow start popping up. And as you've no doubt noticed, Arkona has a much heavier, thicker sound than the other bands I've reviewed tonight. And these guys are pretty legit pagans. And when I say legit, I actually mean legitimate, because Arkona was formed by two members of an actual Russian neo-pagan society in 2002. Maria Masha Scream Aripova and Alexander Warlock Korolev wanted to make music based around how rad Russian myth was, and so rounded up a bunch of dudes and got to work rocking. Unfortunately, this turned out to be rather short-lived, as the band pretty much disintegrated by the summer of 2003. But the metal Miss Masha wasn't keen on just sitting down and doing nothing, so she called in some buddies from a side band of hers called Nagathron to help with making the first Arkona album, and they were all like, yeah, okay, and got that shit done in one take. And thus we got Возрождение in 2004. And 3 more albums later, these guys got hitched with, oh, of fucking course, Napalm Records. It's been a long time, my old friend, but I always knew that you'd be back to pester me with your awesome music. Since Napalm is pagan metal's most powerful patron, Arkona fit in nice and snug and continued putting out brutal ballads to their Slavic celestial sovereigns, leaving us with the killer catalog we have today. And leaving me with the conundrum of how to fit a decade's worth of musical expression into a 13-minute review. Here you go. With the release of their 80-minute masterpiece Goy Rodagoy in late 2009, Arkona had cemented themselves as one of the most talented pagan metal bands around. Not to mention popular, since one of their songs managed to inexplicably show up in an episode of The Office.
Oh, sorry.
Oh snap, son! It appears Arkona has gone mainstream. Already I can hear the clicks and clacks of butthurt metal elitists updating their blogs with misspelled screeds about how Arkona used to be cool. Of course, since Arkona is such an unstoppable metal force, there's no point in trying to sell the band as I usually do. You probably already know about them. If you don't, then shit, you clicked on the wrong video, friend. Not only that, but you watched 7 minutes into it before realizing your mistake. What the hell is wrong with you? In any case, this band is too awesome. So let's explain why they're so awesome and how they've gotten as pumped up and powerful as they have. First off, they got the one thing that every folk metal band needs: passion for the past. I already mentioned that this band basically started in a Slavic neo-pagan community, so it goes without saying that they have an interest in the old ways. This adds a whole new layer to it though. It's not like the other bands I've reviewed where it's just a mere fascination with one's heritage that drives those people to make music. With Arkona, it's practically a spiritual thing. I mean, the name Arkona itself comes from the site of one of the last standing Slavic pagan temples. So technically, Arkona stands alongside Stryper and Powerwolf as being one of the few bands that makes religious music that doesn't suck. Hallelujah! Let me hear that heathen gospel. Ah yes, praise Peyrune, and praise Masha Scream as well for doing this shit so well. Masha's at the helm of this folk metal flagship, and she does not let you forget this fact. She handles harsh vocals, clean vocals, keyboards, and a majority of the songwriting. She also handles the production of the albums themselves with the guitarist Sergei Atrashkovich, to whom she is also married to. But once again, Masha pretty much wears the pants in this band. The furry, brine-soaked, blood-caked pants in which she kicks people's heads off in. She keeps the band going smoothly, yet simultaneously brutally, all at once, and she keeps everything classy, reverent, and sophisticated. And here's a video of shirtless men fighting each other. Granted, the song is actually about the kind of Russian fist-fighting portrayed in the video, but I'm still convinced it's just a convenient cover for Masha wanting to make at least one music video with a dozen shirtless men in it. But, hey, nothing wrong with beefcake. The lady wants beefcake in her music video, then beefcake. I kid, obviously. As I said, Masha navigates this thing like a long ship through stormy waters, and she does it well. Arkona's always been good with keeping their material fresh because they like to experiment, especially in more recent albums where Masha started experimenting with more and more traditional folk elements, like hurdy-gurdies, sopilkas, balalaikas, and other stuff that sounds almost as weird in my mouth as in my ear. You can see the number of folk instruments gradually growing too, like here are the instruments used on their second album, Lepta, and here are the ones used on their latest album, Slovo. It's growing, like a really insidiously danceable fungus. I don't have any complaints, obviously, I love all this shit, but of course this kind of thing always gets the more hardcore fans all up in a tizzy. You know, they're not big fans of all the choirs and mouth harps. You know, mouth harps, those things you put in your mouth and go sproing. Yeah, sure, some of the stuff is a little out there, but come on, it's Arkona. They're a pagan metal band, with special emphasis on the pagan. It's only natural for a band like this to expand in a direction like that, and it's this growth and experimentation that's made Arkona as big as it is. With that said, allow me to wrap this up and summarize. Arkona rules, both figuratively and literally, with pounding drums, punishing guitars, powerful vocals, pagan pride and pluck. This rampaging Russian rabble rose to the top and became one of the most popular and celebrated folk metal acts around. They perform live in hundreds of venues in many different countries, and they have fans all over the world. They have it made, and they have an example worth living up to. Even if some people aren't too jazzed about their more experimental and even more folksy direction, Arkona still does what they please, and what they do loudly, and that's worthy of respect. Because that's the whole point of metal, really. It's not about having the heaviest guitars, the fastest drums, or the most foreboding atmospheres. It's about doing your own thing and finding your own people, and then knocking those people on their ass. So if you're looking for a band that pays homage to the heathens of old in a unique and devastating manner, Arkona is the band for you.
Как же я безумно рада!
I'm Happy Viking, and that was 4 whole episodes of Folk Metal Festivus. 4 episodes with 4 folk metal bands in the folk metal bag. Good God, I am so pumped! I feel like I can take on the world! With a pounding vigor in my chest, I will go forth and